Hi there and welcome back to the channel. Today, on a slightly damp day, I'm actually replacing the thermostat housing. So this is the thermostat I've taken off. It lives down there and I've just taken it off, and this is the reason why the car is actually losing coolant. Is the actual gasket has basically broken and gone. So yeah, I think even the housing's actually damaged as well. So yeah, it's a pretty dead coolant housing and thermostat. So I have a new one, which is here. So that goes there like that. So you can see the difference between the two. Yeah, that's why we're losing coolant. I did nip it up a little bit as well, the bolts on this, just to see whether it would work, but no, it didn't. So I'm just going to put it back in. It's actually quite easy to do. It's two hoses going into it on clips down there, and yeah, it's quite straightforward. 3 bolts, which you've got to be careful not to drop them down inside the engine. So yeah, hopefully I won't do it. So yeah, I'm going to put this back on, and hopefully we won't have a coolant leak. Hopefully, cross fingers. The surfaces on the come on, zoom in, that's it. The surfaces on the thing there look okay. I'll give them a quick wipe down, and yeah, that's hopefully will be a quick fix. Unfortunately, when I actually took things apart, I did actually damage part of this pipe down here, which is part of the turbo thing, so I've got a super glued around here, and I'll get a new one of those as well. So okay, so I've got the new thermostat housing in here. If I said coolant pump before, it was actually thermostat housing. Yeah, so it's in there. I haven't nipped up the bolts yet, but that was actually quite difficult to do because the bolt patterns, so it's difficult to get the bolts in there by hand without seeing it. So I'll just nip those up and then put the coolant pipes back on again. Wow, that was painful. Oh, I've sliced myself up and all sorts trying to get my hand in to do that clip and the one which is behind there. That was awful. Let me see if I can get this thing to zoom in. Yeah, so there really wasn't much space down in there to get the tool in there, and then oh yeah, but it's in there. I've taken the bleed cap off, and so I'm just going to pour some coolant in and let all of the air escape on that one, and bleed the system. So I'm just letting the engine run up to temperature, and I'll start bleeding. I've left the bleed screw down there, just open it just a tiny bit, just so that the air comes out. The coolant is just starting to drop slowly. So yeah, I'll get this up to temperature. That should start bleeding air out very soon. I'm just looking at the thermostat housing while the engine gets up to temperature, and it looks like the plastic basically just broke. Yeah, it went brittle, and then yeah, it just that side of the gasket basically failed, and it looks like it's been doing it for a while because that's the shape of the gasket. Yeah, I think it has been weeping for some time. Interesting failure. It's also quite oily and greasy, this engine, so I need to sort that out. But yeah, it's just a really interesting failure, and I think it probably only just about held water. And I tightened up the bolts on about a day or two ago, and it did reduce the amount of coolant, but not. It was still leaking, still losing coolant. So yeah, interesting failure. Yep, the car's still trying to warm up. Coolant has definitely gone down. I'm going to put some stronger stuff in later. I want to make sure that actually, yeah, I've actually weakened that down a little bit. I think it's like less than 33%. I will put some concentrated coolant in here later on, once I know that it's all good, because it's expensive stuff, so don't want to just throw it on the floor. Right, let's let this warm up. So the engine's up to temperature, the coolant's risen up quite a bit, there was some gurgling, and the top hose is lovely and hot. There's no sign of any leakage down there at all on top of the gearbox where it was going before. I think that is a good fix. So let's just zoom in. there we go. That's the new thermostat housing in there. Bit of a pain in the arse. I cut myself a few times. I put some super glue down on that crack there just to try and seal it. I will have to find another one of those plastic housings there. Yeah, I just felt it go as I was gently trying to pull it off. I've put another dipstick in here. The other one looked a little bit rough and a little bit like it was quite brittle. So I've put a fresh one in there. Yeah, it's ticking over nicely, nice and hot. Oh yeah, that's lovely and hot. There's plenty of movement in there. Yeah, cool. Right, well, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm sorry I couldn't do a detailed one on this. I just needed to get the car up and running. I've shown you as much as I can, especially with the rain around. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.